Today we'll be dealing with trigonometry. We'll do this question that is on our right. Okay, so it's a question from November 2018. Okay, so now question 5, we've been given this diagram. As you can see, in the diagram below, x and 15 is a point on the Cartesian plane such that OT is equals to 17 units. Okay, P is equals to negative 2, A lies on OT, K is a point on the positive x-axis, and TOK is equals to theta. So now determine with the aid of the diagram the following. So 5.1.1, determine the value of x. So guys, how can we approach this? How can you approach this question? So what you have to do here with this diagram that have been given there, with that diagram there, remember that we're going to draw a complete triangle. No? That's what we're going to do. We're going to draw a complete triangle. And then this point here is the P point. And then this one here is the T point. So T, we have X and 15. And then as for P, it's negative 2 and A. Okay. So now to tackle this question, okay. So what I want you guys to remember is that T, this point T lies in our second quadrant, and in our second quadrant, we all know that x is what is negative, and therefore y is what is positive. Please, guys, because most of you tend to make a mistake. Because when we solve this question using the Pythagoras theorem, you get two roots, right? But you guys tend to write down the positive value. Most of you, I'm not saying all of you, but the most of you guys do that. So you must know that the x value that you expect for the second quadrant, it's what? It's negative. Okay. So how can we do that? We've been told that OT, it's 17 units. So they've given us the whole length of our terminal arm, which is 17 units. Okay. So now how can we get x here? And we also have y. They've given us our y, which is 15 here. So now this triangle will look like this. So you have 17 units for the whole length from O to T. And then we have 15 here, and then we are looking for this value. So now the third side here, guys, we can use Pythagoras theorem. So we know that 17 squared is equals to 15 squared plus x squared. Okay. And then you collect the like term. So we have 17 squared minus 15 squared is equals to x squared. And then we put the square root there. And then x is equals to square root of 17 squared minus 15 squared. That will give us plus or minus 8 units. Therefore, we're going to take the x that is negative there. Sorry, the 8 that is negative. Therefore, x is equals to negative 8. Okay? That is the 2 marks question. So now we know that now our triangle looks like this. We have 17. And then we have 15. And then we have what? Negative 8. That is our theta there. Okay? So now the next question is saying that determine tan theta. So tan theta, 5.1.2. So now tan theta is equals to, so we know that tan is opposite over adjacent. Okay, so therefore tan theta will be equals to, what will be our opposite? It's 15 over negative 8. Therefore tan theta is equals to negative 15 over 8. Okay, I'm running out of space. I'm going to use the second slide. So now 5.1.3. So let me draw that triangle again so that I don't have to go to that page again. So we have 17 here, and then we had 15, and then we had negative 8. Okay. So 5.1.3, they've given us cos 180 minus theta. So now guys, what you have to do here, you first have to do your reduction. We first need to do our reduction. Okay. we first need to attend this part 180 minus theta. So according to our Cartesian plane, right, 0 is in here, and then we have 90 there, we have 180 here, we have 270 there, and then come back to 360. So we know that from the first quadrant, all our trig ratios are positive, okay? And then here only sine is positive, here it's tan, and then here it's what? It's cos. So 180 minus theta, which quadrant is that? It's the second quadrant, okay? This is the second quadrant, guys, 180 minus theta. So on the second quadrant, is cos positive or negative? So we know that cos on our second quadrant is what? It's negative. So here we have negative cos theta. So now what is negative cos theta? So we have negative, and then what is cos theta there according to our triangle? So cos theta will be the adjacent over the hypotenuse. So now we have what? Negative 8 over 17. Therefore, you cross multiply those two, and then we have 8 over 17 as cos theta. Okay. And then 5.1.2. What is sine squared theta? So sine squared theta. So first start with sine. What is sine theta there? So sine theta there will be 15 over 17. But now it has been squared, okay? So you just have to square everything there. So now we have sine theta squared as what? So 15 over 17 all squared. That will give us 225 divided by 289. That will be our value there. Okay. So now I'm gonna use red for this one. Okay. So 5.1.5. It's saying now determine the value of a. Okay. So now we need to determine the value of a, guys. So remember again, this is our Cartesian plane here. This is our Cartesian plane. So we have this full triangle. So here we already have 15, and then here we already have negative 8, and then here we have this whole length there as what? As 17 units. Okay. And then we have this point P. We want to know the value of P. So P, oh sorry, the value of A. So we have negative 2 and A. So how can we answer this question here? So now guys, so we have our theta there. There's many ways in which like we could approach this one. Okay, so the first one that I would use, because I know I have my x and I don't know my y there, but I do have my x. So it's something like this small triangle here. Okay, this small triangle here, if we take it out, if we take this small triangle here out, I'm just gonna draw it here. We'll have something like this. We don't know our y, which is a, but we do know x. It's what? X is negative 2 there. Okay, and then we have our theta here, but we don't know the hypotenuse is what as well of this small triangle. Okay, so now how can we do this one? Okay, so what we could do, guys, let's go back to the previous slide. No? We've already know what is tan theta or cos theta. We can use any of the two. So we can use any of those trig ratios to help us determine the angle first. So tan theta is equals to, where's tan theta? Tan theta was equals to negative 18 or negative 15 over 8. So it's equals negative 15 over 8. So we can use this trig ratio to help us get the angle, okay? Because the angle is the same for both triangles, therefore the smaller one and the bigger one. So let's solve for theta. So theta is equals to tan shift of 15 over 8. Therefore, theta is equals to tan shift 15 over 8. That will give us 61.93 degrees. Okay, so let's also check on cos just to confirm. So cos theta is equals to, cos theta is 8 over 17, so it's equals to 8 over 17. So do the same thing. So theta is equals to cos shift of 8 over 17, and then let's check theta is equals to cos shift 8 over 17. That will give us, oh sorry, cos shift 8 over 17. Yeah, so we get 61.93 again degrees. I just rounded off now. So as you can see, guys, our angles are the same. So now this means that this theta here, it's actually 61.93. So we can use this theta now to determine our A. Okay, so we have A, and then we also have our A, which is the opposite on theta, and then -2 is adjacent to theta. So we can use tan again. So we can say tan 61.93 degrees is equals to the opposite divided by adjacent. So you just cross multiply everything by -2 on both sides, multiply by -2. So we have A is equals to -2 times tan 61.93. So -2 times tan 61.93. That will give us -0.375. Okay, okay. So but no, there's a problem, guys. A cannot be negative. We cannot get a negative A. I made a mistake some. Oh, it's here. It's here. I see. I made a mistake here. Remember, there's a negative there, right? So if I included that negative there, then I'm gonna get -61.93. Then after that, I can say theta is equals to, just by adding 180 now on top of that angle. Okay, so that angle will be -61.93 plus 180 degrees. That would give me 118.07 degrees. So it's important, guys, if you substitute the negative there, you're going to get a negative angle. So when you get that negative angle, it's very important for you to add 180 degrees to it, so that you could make it a positive angle. So now we can say tan 118, because this angle is obtuse. It's from the first quadrant to the second. Okay, so it's 118.07 degrees is equals to A over -2. So now we cross multiply by -2 on both sides and multiply by -2. Therefore A is equals to -2 times tan 118.07. So that will give us positive 3.75 units. Okay, so if you round off to the nearest integer, then it's probably gonna give you 4. Okay, so again, guys, I'm gonna emphasize on this. When you substitute a negative angle there, when you substitute a negative fraction there, when you're looking for the ref angle, it's important for you, after you get that negative angle, that you add 180 degrees to it. Okay, please, guys. Or you could also do it this way, if you put it the positive way, so say tan over 15 over 8. If you put it this way, and then it's going to give you that 61.93 degrees. But this angle here, this theta, is from the first quadrant. It's from the first quadrant to the second quadrant. So now this angle is obtuse. So what must you do now? You must, because the second quadrant, it's 180 minus theta, remember. So now you just have to subtract this angle from 180, which will be 180 minus 61.93. And then that will give you 180 minus 61.93. That will give you 118. That would be 118.07 degrees. You could also do it this way. Depends on which one do you prefer. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. 5 point, so 5.2. So 5.2 is saying simplify without using a calculator. So we have sine, how do I increase the thickness of this? Okay, we have sine 120 times cos 210, sorry, times cos 210 times tan 315 multiplied by cos 27, all divided by sine 63 times cos 540. Okay. Guys, before you tackle these questions, okay, you must first check whether are there any angles there that are complementary. So we know that the complementary angles, okay, are those ones that will add up to what? To 90 degrees. So as you can see here, we have 27 and 63. These two angles, 27 and 63, they are complementary because when you add 27 and 63, they will give you directly 90 degrees. So I would suggest that, guys, if you have an angle that is less than 90, do not reduce it. Just keep it the way it is and reduce the angle that is above 90. Do you understand? Because those two angles that are complementary, they will give you the same exact value. Okay? They will give you the same what exact value. For instance, if we say cos 27 will give us what? Cos 27 is 0.8900. Okay, now let's check sine 23. Sine 63. Sine 63 will give us 0.8900100. Sorry. As you can see, guys, these two angles are what are same in magnitude, not unless you are required to change and make them the same so that you could cancel them out. Yeah. What I mean by that, we can maybe change cos 27 into sine 63, or we change sine 63 into cos 27. Okay. Um, so what you can do, let's first reduce 120. So what I normally do, guys, to make things easier for you, I always construct this Cartesian plane. I put in my labels 0, 90, 180, 270, and then 360 again. So I know that the first quadrant, it's 90 degrees plus theta. And then it's also 360 degrees plus theta. And then the second one, it's 90 degrees minus theta. And then it's also 180 minus theta. And then as for the third, it's 180 plus theta. And then it's also 270 minus theta. And then the fourth, it's negative theta there, negative angle. And then also 360 minus theta, as well as 270 plus theta. Okay, because now this will help you because you will reference from it. Okay, so now, guys, here we have sine 120. Okay, sine 120. So now we'll have to reduce this angle. We'll have to reduce that angle there. So we have sine into 180. So when you reduce 120 will be one, it will be 180 plus, you sorry, 180 minus 60, sorry. 180 minus 6. Guys, please, this angle, those angles that are inside the reduction, when you add them or subtract them, they must always, sorry, give you that angle that you're given there in the question. Because the mistake that you guys tend to do is to say sine 180 minus 120. That is wrong, guys, because this will give you what now? 60. 60 is not the same as the reduction that you're given, which was 120. These two are not the same. So always, guys, you look out for the angle at which when you subtract or add must give you the initial reduction. Okay, so please be mindful of that. Never do that mistake. So multiplied by cos, and then 210, guys. 210 is on the third quadrant. So how can you do that one? Or you can also use 180 if you want to, or you can use 270. It doesn't matter. Okay, so let's say 210 reduction. Okay, so 210 reduction will be 180 plus 30 degrees. How did I get that? How did I get this 30 degrees? I said 210 minus 180, and then it gave me what, 30. So I know that to get to 10 I must add these two. So 180 plus 30 will give me what, the initial angle that I was given there, which was cos 210. Do you see? Same as for this one. How did I get 180 minus 60? I said 180 minus what, 120. That gave me what, 60. So I know that I must what, subtract 60 from 180 in order to get the 120 that was given to me. That is how you do reduction, guys. Okay, let's continue. Multiplied by tan. Again, we have tan there, so we can say 8 minus 350. So we can say we have 180 plus 135. Okay, multiplied by cos 27. Remember, I said you must leave that cos 27 as it is. Okay, and then we come here. So I'm gonna change sine 63 into what, into cos 27. So how am I gonna do that? So I'm gonna say sine into 90 minus what, 27. Remember again, 90 minus 27 is gonna give me that 63 that is there. Okay, so times cos. And then if you have any angle that is greater than 360, guys, remember to subtract 360 from that angle. Okay, so we have 540 minus 360. So we have what, 360 degrees plus 180 degrees. Okay, so now let's reduct now. So sine 180 minus 60, which quadrant is that? 180 minus is the second quadrant. How is sine in the second quadrant? It's positive. Will the sign change? No. So we have sine 60 degrees multiplied by 180 plus, which quadrant is that? Is the third quadrant. How is cos in the third quadrant? It's negative. So we have negative cos 30 degrees times what, where is tan 180 plus? 180 plus, which quadrant is that? Is the third quadrant. How is tan in the third quadrant? It's positive. So we have tan 135 degrees multiplied by cos 27 divided by, so sine 90 minus, these are cofunctions now, guys. So 90 minus, which quadrant is that? Is the second quadrant. Okay, so in the second quadrant, how is sine in the second quadrant? It's positive. So will the function change? Yes, it will change to what? To cos 27. Remember, guys, when you are dealing with the cofunctions, when you have cos 90 plus or minus theta, or sine 90 plus or minus theta, or cos 270 plus or minus theta, or sine 270 plus or minus theta. Remember, guys, that always the function will change when you have those. If you have in your reduction 90 plus or minus, or you have 270 plus or minus, remember your function will change. If you had sine, it will change to cos. If you had cos, it will change to sine. Again, with the signs of the functions, it will depend which quadrant we are dealing with. Okay, so don't forget that, guys. So multiplied by, so cos into 360 plus. So 360 plus, which quadrant is that? It's the first quadrant, don't forget. So how is cos in the first quadrant? Of course, it's positive. So we have cos 180. Okay, so now we have sine 60 times negative cos 30. And then we still have to reduct here. We have an angle that is greater than 90 degrees. So we need to reduct 135. So it's tan. So 180 minus 180, 135 will give me 45. So it means that I have 180 minus what? 45 degrees. Okay, multiply. Oh, sorry, cos 27 and cos 27 will cancel, né? Divided by cos 180. Okay, so again, sine 60 times negative cos 30. So 180 minus, again, which quadrant is that? It's the second quadrant. How is tan in the second quadrant? It's negative. So we have negative tan 45 degrees divided by cos 180. Now guys, we have special angles here. You can just directly put it in your calculator, right? So we have sine 60. You can just divide everything in your calculator. So we have sine 60 times negative cos 30 times negative tan 45 divided by cos 180. So we have negative 3 over 4. Don't forget guys, our special angles, right? We have 0, we have 30, we have 60, we have 45, we have 90, we have 180, and we have 360. Those are our special angles, guys. Don't forget. Né? So that is it for 5.2. Now let's go to 5.3, proving the identity. Where do I increase the thickness here of my, oh, yeah. So now let's go to 5.3. So 5.3, again, just increase it a bit. Okay, 5.3, right? So we've been given 1 over cos theta minus cos theta divided by 1 plus sine theta is equals to tan theta. So now we've been required to prove what? This identity. So guys, if we look at our right hand side, this is what I always advise learners to do. If we look at our right hand side here, in our tan we know that it's a ratio of what? Sine over cos. So what am I trying to say here? On our left hand side, whatever manipulation that you are doing in our numerator, we must always try by all means to get anything that is sine. Try to make your numerator be sine. By all means, try to get sine. And then your denominator must always be what? Cos. You must always make cos in your denominator, because that will draw you closer into getting what? This ratio of sine over cos. You cannot manipulate here and then be left with cos in your numerator and then have sine in your denominator. No. Try by all means to get what? Sine in your numerator and cos in your denominator. So how can we do that? How can we approach that? Okay. And always, guys, another thing, when you are doing identities, you must always choose the complicated side. So we're going to choose our left hand side because it is the most complicated of the two. Okay. So now how are we going to do this one? Okay. Here, guys, as you can see, we have a denominator here of cos theta and 1 plus sine theta. So we'll look forward for the common denominator. So what you're going to do there, you're just going to say 1 over cos theta minus cos theta divided by 1 plus sine theta. Okay, is equals to, so now we multiply our denominators. Okay, so we have cos theta times what? 1 plus sine theta. Therefore, our numerator would be, so we know that 1 will be multiplied by 1 plus sine theta, and then we know that cos will be multiplied by cos theta. So let's do it. So we have 1 times 1 plus sine theta minus cos theta times cos theta. Okay, is equals to, so 1 times sine, 1 times 1, so we have 1 plus 1 times sine, we have sine theta, minus cos times cos, that is going to give us cos squared theta, divided by cos theta plus sine theta times cos theta. So now we have something like this: 1 minus cos squared theta plus sine theta divided by cos theta plus sine theta times cos theta. Remember what I said, guys, initially? I said that we must get sine in our numerator. So now, as you can see, we have 1 minus cos squared theta. What does this bring? Remember, we have this identity: sine squared theta plus cos squared theta is equals to 1. And then we have we have cos squared theta equals to 1 minus sine squared theta. And then we also have sine squared theta is equals to 1 minus cos squared theta. So as you can see, we have that identity. We can replace 1 minus cos squared theta with what? Sine squared theta, isn't it? Okay. So we're going to replace this guy with sine squared theta. So we have sine squared theta plus sine theta divided by cos theta plus sine theta cos theta. So guys, as you can see here in our denominator, we have a common factor there, which is cos theta, right? I don't think I should have multiplied it even before, but it's fine. So even in our numerator, we have a common factor of sine. So let's take out our common factor in our numerator. So we have sine theta is 2 sine theta plus 1 divided by, and then our numerator we take out, sorry, in our denominator we take out our common factor. So we have what? 1 plus sine theta as well. So as you can see, this easily cancels out. And then check, we have what? Sine theta over cos theta, which is equals to tan theta. So now we've proven our identity. So now we can conclude and say the left hand side is equals to the right hand side. It's equals to tan theta. You see, guys? Okay, now I'm gonna move on to the next slide for the next question. So now the next question is saying determine the general solution of 3 sine x is equals to 2 tan x. Okay, so what we need to do here, guys, right? We have to transpose this guy to this side. Okay, so we have 3 sine x minus 2 tan x is equals to 0, because it's an equation. Okay, and then what do we do from here? We have 3 sine x minus 2, and then we change. Tan is an identity. Don't forget, tan is an identity of sine x divided by cos x. Okay, so multiplied by sine x divided by cos x is equals to 0. Then we multiply out, so 3 sine x minus what? 2 sine x over cos x is equals to 0. And then we have cos here, so we need to remove cos. What do we do to remove cos? We multiply everything. Multiply everything by what? By cos x. Okay, so 3 sine x multiplied by cos x minus 2 sine x over cos x multiplied by cos x is equals to 0 multiplied by cos x. Okay, so now we have 3 sine x times cos x minus cos and cos will cancel, so we have negative 2 sine x is equals to 0. And then as you can see, guys, here again we have a common factor here. We have a common factor of sine. It's like we have something like this: 3 y x minus 2x, sorry, 2y is equals to 0. So as you can see, we have y there, so we take out y as a common factor. We have 3x minus 2 is equals to 0. So we're going to do the same thing here. So we take out sine as a common factor. So sine x, we have 3 cos x minus 2 is equals to 0. And then so the first value, so sine x is equals to 0, or 3 cos x is equals to 2. And then here, what will be our reference here? If we look for our ref angle, so x will be equals to sine shift of 0. What do we get? Our ref angle. So our reference angle there will be sine shift of 0. It's going to give us 0. Okay. So our sine function, guys, let me erase this part here. So we know that our sine function, okay, is 0 where? So sine is 0 at 180 and then also at 360. Okay, and at 0 as well. So now our solution here is that x is equals to 0 plus 180, sorry, 360k. 360k, the period of sine is 360, guys. So 360k, k is an element of integers, or x is equals to 180 plus 360k. Again, k is an element of integer. You can put all three also. X is equals to 360 plus 360k. K is an element of integers. Okay, so now let's come on to this one. So here what you have to do, you just divide by 3 on both sides. So 3, so cos x is equals to 2 over 3. So what will be our ref angle there? So our ref angle will be equals to cos shift of 2 over 3. So our ref angle will be equals to what? So cos shift over 2 over 3, that will give us 48. Okay, 48.19 degrees. Okay, so now guys, as you can see, this ratio here is positive, right? So we know that cos is positive in which quadrant? Just use this space there, no? So let me just use the next slide, sorry. So we had cos x is equals to 2 over 3. So cos x is equals to 2 over 3. So x shift is equals to 2 over 3. Then we got our ref angle there. Sorry, not x. Our ref angle. So we got our reference angle as what? Is 48.19 degrees. So we know that cos in our Cartesian plane is positive where? In our first, and is also positive where? On our fourth. So first and fourth. Okay. So in the first quadrant, we're just going to write it as it is. So x is equals to 48.19 degrees plus 360 k. K is an element of integers. And then for the second one, or x is equals to what? 360 minus what? 48.19 degrees plus 360 k. K is an element of integers. So therefore x is equals to 360 minus 48.19. That will give us 311.81 degrees plus 360 k. That is our solution there. Okay, so that is it, guys, for this video. Thank you very much.